Hi, and in this video, I'm actually gonna show you how to put the power supply into the pedal board. So first, we need a power supply. This is the power supply that I'm using, and this is the pedal board that I'm using. We already have the Velcro, and we're also going to need the Velcro, and we are going to need a pair of scissors. So I'm gonna take this right here. There's actually a spot right here. If you see, there's a spot with the power supply, and you want to actually lean it over like this. You want to take the power supply. You want to just put it in there. You actually want to put it in there a certain way to where the all the outlets are right here, so you can plug everything in, and you are actually going to leave it like that, but you're going to take this right here, and there's actually two with this Velcro. There's actually two forms of Velcro, and you want to take one. You want to use one spot to put on the pedal board, and you want to use the other one to put on the pedals so they can stick together. Because if you put them together, they'll actually stick together. So over here, as you can see, I already have this stuff right here. I already put on my pedal board from last time. So I'm actually going to use the same form of Velcro on this side, on the other side. So what I am going to do is I'm actually going to turn it upside down. I'm actually what it is you have to actually measure the tape. The pedal board tape is what it's actually called, and you want to stick it to the actual. You want to make sure it sits in there actually. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to measure it first, and then I'm going to take the pair of scissors, and I'm actually going to cut right along here. I'm going to measure just with eyeball it and everything. I'm actually just gonna, if you notice, there's a tape right here and I just peeled off. I'm sorry. You're gonna put it right here, and you're actually gonna stick it right there, but you're gonna make sure that the outlets, you can still plug everything in. So I'm just gonna keep doing that. I'm gonna do that with this side, and I'm gonna do it with. I'm gonna eyeball it. I'm actually gonna cut the scissors. Cut that. And what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna peel this off. That's stuck in there. I'm gonna actually do it one more time. Make sure it's actually stuck in there. I don't have much tape left. That's why I'm doing it like this. And once again, I am going to peel it off like that and stick it on. Make sure it's on there. And I'm going to just cover the whole bottom of it. So I'm going to do actually one more time. I'm sorry. I have to. There we go. And I'm going to peel it off. Peel it off. See? And make sure it's sticky on there. And it's pretty much stuck. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It doesn't really move right now. So I'm just going to leave it like that. And this is where we actually plug everything in. We actually use the electrical stuff. So I actually have everything tied together. So this is actually right here. So I'm actually so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, as you can see, there's one curved end and there's one straight end. So I'm actually going to use it to my advantage. So where when I plug the pedals into my pedal, when I plug the electrical wire in from the power source to the pedals, I'm going to make sure it's easier with the curved end or the straight end. So we're going to actually flip this back over. I already have everything put together. Actually, I already have everything like with Velcro. So I actually have the bottoms already with Velcro, with different form of Velcros. You just want to do the same thing with the opposite Velcro that they give you in the package. So we're going to start off with, remember we use gain first. Actually, I'm not going to use my tuner because in my rig, I actually have a headstock tuner, so I'm not going to use my tuner. And I'm not going to use my wah pedal. I'm actually going to use that separately. I'll show you guys later. And so we're going to start out with the fuzz. So we're going to start out right here. As you can see, this says input. So we're going to plug the guitar into the first pedal, which is the fuzz, which is right here. I can just stick it on. And then we're going to use the tube screamer. What we're going to do is we're going to get the patch cables. I have the patch cables right here. And I'm going to do this. And I'm actually going to plug the patch cable in. And then I'm going to plug the patch cable into the tube screamer. And then we have, stick that down. There we go. So I'm going to do the same exact thing with the rat. I'm going to plug this in here. And then I'm going to plug this into the rat. Always make sure your electrical wires, electrical plugs are open so you can plug them in. Sorry. But what we're going to do is we are going to, so it goes fuzz, gain, distortion, and then we want modulation. So we're gonna, I'm gonna put this right here. Now it gets kind of confusing right here when we do the bottom. I usually turn them upside down. So I'm gonna plug the batch gate in. It kind of gets weird. So plug this in. This is actually, yeah, that's the way it goes. Press down on it. So we actually have the fuzz, gain, distortion, and then we have modulation. We have the phaser right here. And then we're going to use octave, which is also a phase, well, it's also a modulation. So we're going to actually, this is input. So this side is input. So we're going to plug it in here. Sorry. So I got that. And then we're going to plug that into output. I'll press down on that. So this is right side up, and this is up, kind of upside down, like the pedal right here and the pedal right here. That's how the pedals are going to be. You got to watch because the Velcro likes to stick. You got to make sure it's on there. I'm actually going to redo this, I think. Then after modulation, we have time, which is either your delay pedals or your reverb and all that. So this is my delay pedal. I'm actually going to plug this into input, plug that into output. Make sure it sticks there, right there. Press down on it. And now we have the EQ. So the EQ, I'm going to put in the output. To the output. So that's actually output. I'm sorry. We plug this in the output and this in the input. And then we want the noise gate. So we plug this in the output. And then we plug this in the input. And stick it on there. That's basically how you build your first pedal board. You take all that. It's really just knowing the signal path for everything. And then you're just Velcroing everything on, sticking everything on. It's not really that hard to stick everything on. It's just knowing the signal path. And you're going to plug this side into your amp. And I'm going to give you a demonstration in a project. Thank you. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to plug the electrical part in this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually, since this is all stuck together, you can actually just plug everything in. We're going to leave one spot open right here. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plug this into the second outlet. and then this goes towards the gain pedals. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it in a little slot I think that they give us, and we're going to do that. And then we're just going to plug it into the fuzz pedal. And we're going to continue to do all this with every single pedal. So we're going to take the straight end. Well, I usually take the straight end and I plug it in to the power source. And then what we're going to do is we're going to slide it in the little hole that they give us in this pedal board. I'm going to plug this into the tube screamer. And we're going to keep doing this. So that's how it is. Plug this in. Straight end into there. And then we're going to slide it through the hole. It's kind of tedious, but then we're going to plug this into the rack. Then we're going to take the straight end. And we're going to plug this, find the hole. And actually plug that in. And then we're going to do the same thing with the octave. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we probably have to leave one. Okay, so we have 7, 9 volts. So hold on. Yeah, we have 2 over here that are 112 volt, 118 volt, and then we have this one that plugs in. So we make sure that we have 2 free. So we have that goes up here, and you just plug it into the octave, straighten the wire out. Then we're going to plug this in. So remember, you got that 2 free. So make sure it goes through the hole over here. Then we plug it in. Straight end, curved end. And then we have the straight end. We have 2 frees, so we have this is good. These are all 9 volts. So plug this in. Everything is plugged in. It's kind of a mess right here, but you just gotta organize it. So just organize your wires. And then what we want to do, the way we plug it in, this is what I really want to show you. This is called a daisy chain. I'm going to use it as an extension cord. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the end of the daisy chain and we're going to plug it into the first plug. we're actually gonna, hold on, just caught my wire. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take this and we're gonna put it in down here like this, and then we're gonna plug it into the first plug, and this is gonna act as a extension cord, so we can plug this in. So the daisy chain is gonna act like an extension cord into the power surge. So this is the end of the this is the 9-volt power source that you can usually buy right here. We're gonna plug this into the daisy chain like so, and then we're gonna take this and we're gonna plug it into the power surge. We're going to take that and we're going to plug this into the power surge. And then you plug this in, and that's how we're going to power it all up. So that is how we put our stuff together. That's how we put our pedal board together. And that's how we're going to, that's how we're going to put everything together and put the electrical wire and have the patch cables all in one. And stick around for the project. Thank you.